Lo prometido es deuda y no es deuda de la japonesa, señores. Bienvenidos al Casino del Tío Salo. Obviamente esto es una versión del casino avanzada con Alex y Farhan. Les vamos a dejar aquí en la descripción del video el Discord para que se metan en el Discord. Ahí está platicando todo el mundo. Además es bueno para poder crear más análisis, que la gente les explique más cosas. Es completamente gratis. Vayan abajo y ahí en el Discord también pueden encontrar todos nuestros enlaces, etcétera. Voy a traer a los meros meros. Espérame, alguien acaba de donar $1,000. No donen, por favor, dinero, señores. Un segundo. Gracias, se aprecia, pero no hay ni pregunta. Vamos a empezar el Casino del Tío Salo con Alex, Farhan. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everything going?
Amazing.
I was muted. Good morning, sirs.
Not surprised.
What a crazy weekend. Holy crap. Did anyone see this coming?
I did not. Alex did. I did not, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, partially. I mean, hindsight's 2020. It's surprising me how exasperated the move is to the downside, but I guess that's just kind of the preset of the environment we're in overall. So it's going to be a good day. Sure. At least there's volatility in the market.
Yeah, I mean, volatility is fun, right? That's what you want on the market. You want to be able to just like trade, make some money, and the volatile moves are going to help you out. But you got to be careful because volatility being this high right now, although it might seem great, it's also very dangerous and can fucking absolutely eliminate all of your positions in a second.
Yeah, but to us, volatility is like wrap the belt around my arm, give me the syringe, give me the spoon.
Yeah, it absolutely plays out in our favor. I agree.
Yeah, no, I mean, I often think of it like it's just water to like a farmer, and that's just what's required to grow things. So without it, it's just like important for a trader. But you're 100% right. We saw this with ETH, actually. I think there was, the liquidation, I think, hit over 100 million on ETH when it
was almost 300, actually.
Yeah, it dumped like 15% in
it was
a few minutes.
It was over 22% in 5 minutes.
Insane.
Fucking insane.
Like that's insane.
5x leverage, you would have been liquidated.
Like with no stop loss, you would have been smoked, which is absurd.
Well, yeah, these moves, I mean, you see the candles, they're so big, dude. So big. Yeah.
And a lot of times Ethereum will remind you, like, no matter how big the market cap is, it's still a shitcoin.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And honestly, there's like, it's not like it's the second best anymore. It really isn't.
So it's a piece of shit. Ethereum is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
This is like what me and Farn were talking about this weekend. Like, why is it
I'm sure Alejandro knows from when I used to bull post the fuck out of Ethereum in 2021. I had so much Ethereum. Now I hold literally zero Ethereum.
Yeah, it couldn't even break its market cycle high. Where like Binance did it with ease. So it is interesting to see that. Will the flip happen potentially? Would it surprise me? Definitely not.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we already know when CZ gets out, Binance is probably going to pump. CZ's almost out. CZ's almost out.
I can't wait. We need him because he did tell us last time when was the bottom. So
all we need is a tweet from CZ saying 4, and the market will bottom.
And then we're good. Yeah. So CZ, can you please come the fuck out of prison? We have gains to make. Okay, Jesus Christ. Shall we get started on this?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do a Bitcoin analysis because I think that's appropriate for the time and
the most important thing right now.
Yeah, very important. Cool.
Let me open up.
So we've been analyzing this chart here for a while. There's a lot going on, lots of lines, but I want to focus on this line here that we've been watching now for a few weeks. Major support. And the reaction after it got reclaimed was pretty legit. But now I find it interesting because you can see here, as soon as we lost it, especially on this daily closure, it's just basically been down only on Bitcoin, which is interesting. It's been a while since we've had this type of volatility to the downside consecutively as well. It's, to me, Bitcoin is not looking good. And if we go here, let's check the weekly, but let's switch the chart here. Look at this. So here we have the weekly chart, and this is something that we've been talking about now since this pump started. Essentially, was we didn't want to see it roll over. The bull hopium was that this high here was going to break, and it was going to break potential this structure here, and we'd go to new all-time highs. But the issue here is it rolled over, and it even created a lower low quicker than I actually would have expected. Right, this is just another lower high essentially. And this is something I talked about on stream where I didn't want to draw another trove here, but
you literally said that.
We got it, and the reason why I had this bias of caution, as soon as I started analyzing a little more last week, I was always 40 on the bull bear. But when I started analyzing a little deeper, especially on these weeklies, it changed kind of more dramatically to me being on the more cautionary side, because of also Tether. And this is a funny correlation here, right? While Bitcoin is simply doing lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and now we got the lower high, lower low, we also have Tether here in a nice uptrend. And this is something we also talked about here on stream, of Tether potentially being in a weekly uptrend. And the concern of that was, we just did not want to see this high get broken. And if we go here to a daily, right, and you can just simply see the reaction of once it broke this high, we simply got this breakout on the daily. Now, I mean, the hopium is we're at meme resistance here. But essentially all we then be technically is on higher low watch on UST dominance. This is a total meme line right here, but it is working. So all I'll do simply is extend it, and you can kind of see we were in this channel here. Had a field breakout, right? Field breakout, get back in the channel, still held support, and then got that real move up. So, and it is in a clear uptrend, and this is where most now can, instead of just like thinking markets are totally decimated, which in all realness, the structure has definitely been pretty broken overall. The hopium now is the monthly, which I'll go over on Bitcoin, but always the money is in the understanding the trend early, and these are the signs of kind of what was telling us that things were cracking underneath, even though Bitcoin, right, was still in that consolidated range for a while. We heard, and we even talked about on the stream, where it was holding relatively well overall, right? We were just like ranging, while stocks and Nvidia and other things were kind of, really already going down, I guess. So now seeing Bitcoin follow through on it is very interesting to me. So where we are now on Bitcoin currently, let's see here. So overall, Bitcoin, we're expecting a bounce soon. And the reason I say that is if we go to the 5-day, we are approaching some major support overall. This isn't the right chart. Let me see. Yeah, so we are approaching major support overall on Bitcoin. The 5-day, this candle is closing in 2 days. So how it's going to close is going to be key here. Bulls really want to see essentially the monthly shape into, a nice candle. Essentially,
hammerhead.
Yeah, 100%. That's the bull hopium currently. Right now is that the monthly can shape up and get back above the 9. If the 9 is lost, and let me take the 21 off of here. Simply put, if the 9 is lost, it would break the structure of the uptrend, in my opinion. And I will be 100% confirmed that we're most likely in a bear market at this point. And the reason I say that simply is you can just see, right, since the precipice of the breakout in October, price has not closed the monthly below this EMA 9. And the EMA 9 currently is at 56,552.
45 now. 47.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just fucking with you.
So, the hopium here is that the monthly is 26 days. This could just be, turning into a nice candle. We're going to get back above the 9, and hopefully, by some grace of, some chance, essentially turn this into some bullish candle, or even flipping it green, but seems highly unlikely as it stands. especially with everything else that we're watching. You know, Tether dominance monthly looks insane. You know, it's extremely green. But not only that, it's in a nice uptrend, which is unfortunate for bulls because this is an inverse correlation with Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. And you can see on the flip side as well, you know, it's reclaiming its EMA 9 after losing it in October. It's funny how we often see, you know, the flip in the charts, right? Bitcoin's often losing a major level while USD dominance is actually reclaiming a major level that it hasn't reclaimed in a while.
Opposite correlation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I like using this as kind of a cheat code, because while, you know, and I mentally note this just kind of like when we get big moves down, right? I guess historic volatility on Bitcoin, I always mentally note, you know, Tether dominance was showing us the way. As soon as Bitcoin lost that daily EMA 100, you know, it was basically races. It basically exasperated the downside. Let me see. I don't know why it's not showing. Yeah, something's weird. Something is weird going on with my EMAs. I'm gonna check that out later. But essentially, as soon as on Friday we had lost it, you know, that was a sign to take caution. You know, potentially de-risk some longs and just, you know, potentially observe. You know, you'll see a lot of people are always trying to catch a trade, or, you know, be in a trade, or they feel like when they see these moves they have to catch something or feel FOMO. Oftentimes, the best trade is no trade. And just kind of letting things settle is often just, you can catch some easy trades overall. So for now, Bitcoin, in my opinion, not looking the strongest. Not even on the lower time frames. We've had kind of no signs of any kind of structure form here. And anytime we do, we just simply roll over. And you can just see here, support will slightly hold at these levels. Right? We'll always get some kind of pity bounce at the meme lines, but once we flip it into resistance, lose the level, flip it into resistance, we come down to the next.
Well, look at the rejection you just had right there.
It's just a really exactly. It's essentially just showing us an extremely strong downtrend. You know, and you can see that with the meme lines, the EMA 9 here, simply just each and every time getting rejected. You know, had you, let's see, on the 4-hour, right? Had you just as soon as we lost this EMA 9 here, had you bidded each time it rejected up until now, that strategy would have worked, and at this point would have printed insane gains of that was what was that clicked away?
23%.
Yeah, 23%. So kind of insane. And that just kind of shows you where we're at in markets. It's always good to just side on the air of caution. You know, if you want to be highly conservative, just simply wait and see where this monthly closes. You know, the monthly is going to be a very key point. And you're going to, essentially, in my book, it's kind of the bull's last stance here. If they can flip the monthly back above the 9, you know, then I don't see why this, you know, just is a bad flush out. Then they ideally would want some consolidation. But if we do close below the 9, you know, it's not going to be a good sign. And we just simply see that last time, you know, Bitcoin did close below the 9, essentially was right here after it got reclaimed in March of 2022 on a pump, and then it deviated and lost it. And essentially that led to an insane dump. I mean, from here to the candlewick low, yeah, that was a nice 61% dump. So, you know, we're at a really key area for price here on Bitcoin. And, you know, overall, the way stocks are looking, you know, overall the global markets, I think it's never dumb to just like watch, observe, and wait for either an easy setup or for Bitcoin to potentially just go into a major level, like a liquidity zone, which essentially just has real, you know, volume, because right now we're not seeing buyers step up by any means. And yeah, the weakness is there. And, you know, at this point, the trend is your friend. And currently, as it stands, you know, I'm seeing a weekly downtrend pretty heavily, which essentially is bleeding into the lower time frames. You know, and now we're waiting to see, okay, where's this monthly going to close? Can it hold the 9? But as it stands, yeah, breaking that low that we formed here in the beginning of July, just it's not a good sign. It's a terrible sign. So, and VIX as well is insane, breaking out. We haven't had this type of volatility on VIX in a
4
long
years.
time. Yeah. So, this is kind of like this also on Friday was telling us, we need to err on the side of more caution. This, was telling us that stocks are not looking the strongest. And now we see that today with, they open. So, that's all I have on Bitcoin essentially. The weekly I would just watch. Right now we're just kind of more if you're biased or you aren't actively trading this, definitely right now is just the time in my opinion to just err and caution. Wait for the easy trade. There always is an easy trade.
You haven't identified one, right?
No.
Waiting. Yeah.
It's too early, right? It's like we've been down. Let's get a mean reversion bounce. Let's form a range. Bitcoin loves ranging. It'll always range, even if it's just for a few days. Figure out the range. I'm looking at just a certain level, which is just on the daily EMA 100. But at this point, I think that price has been, slammed so down that, that's a pretty big level overall. So if we can get back above there, I'll think it's bull mode back on. But until then, I'm gonna look at that as total resistance. So
yeah,
makes
sense.
Yeah, so I just think like right now the easy trade is just watching, waiting, letting some at least structure form. Because what you don't want to do is short here, because it kind of feels like, to me, that's just there's no easy short right now. There hasn't been really since this dump mainly started, mainly yesterday. Like we've been going down, but the volatility has been getting kind of insane up until this point.
I mean, you're going between 49,600 and 50, basically almost $55,500, like in 2 seconds. Like it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. It's like, do you want to catch it? And I'm sure if you catch it, it's going to do the opposite and go continue to go up or continue to go down. That's most likely the scenario. What about you, Farhan? What do you got for us?
This time I remember to unmute myself.
There we go.
Incredible. I see you. You're on it this Monday.
I'm improving.
Good.
Let's switch to my chart.
Let's see.
I'm going to come at it from a couple of different approaches. So I'm going to start with my weekly chart on the HPDR, which is the historical price delta range. It uses the past previous bars of data, the past 20,000 bars, to give you statistical ranges. So right now, ever since we rejected the 70K top, right whenever Trump made his speech and everything, and he was like, Bitcoin is the most amazing thing ever.
By the way, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Have you been having fun with your Bitcoin? Just like Trump said that we should.
My Bitcoins are the best thing on the planet, except when they're losing me money. When they're losing me money, they suck.
I'm not having fun with Bitcoin at that point.
We rejected the 70K right here, right around this median zone. This white line right here is the median. Every single time we've rejected the median, we go back down to the bottom 38.2% level. We rejected the median here, but this time around, we smashed right through the 38.2% level and closed below it. At the same time, we had momentum pointed down, we had volatility pointed up, which tells us that this is not a corrective move, this is an impulsive move. And right after that, we got to move quickly down to the 55 EMA. Right now, we're finding some support around there, and we're still holding the 61.8% level. But right now, in my opinion, because of this whole range that we've been building in up since around like February of 2024, we're right now clearly below it, and we have not reclaimed it at all. So I'm thinking that this is going to be another like a little bit of consolidation before we go further down. And we see right here where we have a fresh sell signal on the weekly jewel. We had a sell signal right here where we tried to switch to a neutral when we flipped up to go to 70K whenever Trump had his Bitcoin conference.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was not able to flip to a buy signal. So it flipped back to a sell signal. So now we have a fresh move to the downside as well. And if we go over to the daily on here, you can see that right now we're finding some support at the 95% range. So that tells us that there's only a 5% chance of continuation from here. So it makes sense that we would bounce from here. But what we really do not want to see is that we have closed severely under this 200 SMA. We have 1, 2, and we're on the brink of 3 candles closes below it. And the daily jewel is on a very vertical downwards move. Like right now, it has no hope of curving back up. To curve back up, we would need today to close over $55,900. That is the only way that I would say the bottom is in, and that we're going to go up from here is if we close over 55.9. And at this point, it seems extremely unlikely. If we go down to the 4 hour, right now we're getting a little bit of a bounce. It makes sense because we're at very significant levels on the EMAs on the higher time frames, and we're still getting that 4 hour God mode buy signal. We're getting extremes and momentum extremes and volatility. So it would not surprise me to rinse out the late shorts, get a little bit of bounce right up to this meme line right here at 56s, like 56.7 area. Get all the shorts liquidated, and then from there just get another move back down. But until then, I'm waiting for this. Like in my opinion, just like Alex said, this is like a no trade zone. We're just waiting to watch the reaction. Right now, we do have a bullish engulfing on the 4 hour, so that would support us going back up to retest this meme line up here. Right now, let me switch to a different chart. Let's see if there's any. I haven't checked this yet. Let's see if there's any divergences. Switch to the
It's
index.
Be a mega bearish divergence somewhere in there. There's going to be 89 different.
All right, so we do have a little slight bearish divergence, but it's not the craziest thing ever. It's not like a dead sentence type of bearish divergence.
Okay.
But if we do lose, like the easy target would be this 55 EMA. But if we do lose this 55 EMA at that point, I would say that we're definitely going down to this 200 SMA, which is now currently sitting at about $37,000. With every weekly closure, it moves up. What I have on the opposite end, though, is that we have a volatility versus momentum setup right here, where every time volatility drops below 15%, and then it and it goes to like right here was consolidated to zero volatility. Then whenever it expands back up 15%, we have an 85 to 90% chance of moving in towards the direction of stochastic momentum. So if we switch to this chart right here, we'll see what the pivot is. Right now, the pivot is the weekly switch. Oh, this is S&P. Switch to Bitcoin index. Right now, the pivot is $54,000. We're currently below that by about almost $100.
1,000.
As long 1,000. As long as we're below this price right here, price has an 85% chance of moving around 40% to the downside. Right now, and volatility is currently at 22.2%. So without a doubt, the setup is firing off. And once the setup fires off, we have an 85% chance of moving in the direction opposite of the stochastic momentum. The last time this setup fired off to the downside was right here in 2022, in the bear market of 2022. This is the last time we ever fired off to the downside. Ever since then, we've been firing off this setup to the upside. Every single time. From here, we fired it off to the upside. From here, we fired it off to the upside. Right now is the first time we ever had it fire off to the downside. And if we were to calculate that percent move, around 40% from this top, that would put us at a minimum of $40,000. Average move somewhere around $36,000 to $37,000. And right now, if you were to look at, let me pull up the EMAs. Right now, the 200 EMA is right here around $37,000, $38,000, $37,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem too far-fetched, to be honest with you at this point.
Plus, everything that else is that's making me think we might go towards that is how many people you see on Twitter right now is claiming they've bought the bottom. Like, I maxed out. My entire life savings net worth is in Bitcoin right now. I've caught the bottom.
Thanks.
I saw the same thing, and when a lot of people agrees with you on that, like I learned this in October 2022, which was the bottom of the stock market. I said, is it going to continue to go down or is it going to pick up? And 70% of people were like, yeah, it's going to continue to go down, and that's what I thought he was doing. And I should have just instantly realized right there and then that it was wrong. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. I'm seeing a lot of people like, okay, should I buy now? Should I buy now? Should I buy now? And that's exactly what happened in 2022 too, where everybody was just like, should I buy now? Should I buy now? This is the dip. This is the dip. And it's the dippity dip of the dip of the dip that keeps dipping until it dips one last time.
Until it can't dip no more.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had like me and Alex know, we've had so many people over this weekend tagging us like countless times. Like, should I buy here? Should I sell here? Everybody's freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, it's logical to find support here right around the golden pocket, the 65%, 61.8%. But unless we close over 55.9, like it's just going to be a temporary bounce. Like there's no reversal in sight. Right now, shit looks absolutely cooked. It looks really bad.
Yeah.
Let's come at it for another
let's go
segment. Here's a fundamental indicator. It's called the hash ribbons indicator. The way it works is based off of the hash ratings from the miners who are mining Bitcoin. Every single time it has fired off a buy signal after the capitulation signal, Bitcoin has never closed a weekly below that closing low ever again. This has only ever failed 3 times in Bitcoin history. Out of like 19 times, it's only 14 times. And every single time it's failed, a 25 to 50% dump has followed after that.
From right that now, point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now, our hopium is that the only way to save this is our previous closing low is right here at around $55,900. And right now, we're a good amount below that. If we can manage to close above that, the hopium is still alive. But if we close below that level, we're going to get a minimum of a 40% dump. And if we do the calculation from here, what 40% is, it brings us right down to this 200 SMA. This 200 SMA keeps, around, but it goes up with every weekly close.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm thinking it's going to be around like 37 to 38K whenever it plays out. That because that 38K number keeps coming up no matter which different setup I look at. I have about like 5 different setups where I have different indicators for each setup. Each one is telling me this 38K number.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of correlation to that area exactly in different, like through different approaches too, not just only through yours.
Especially because everybody else is calling the bottom around 40s.
Yeah, yeah, so 42, right? Everybody's like 49 or 42, whatever.
If everybody's going to long the 40s, it's probably going to smash below that, get them to close their longs, maybe flip short, and then reverse. If we even get a reverse.
Because and how long will that take? Yeah.
Who knows? Because if we get a close below this low right here, we're probably going to consolidate at least, like the best case scenario, consolidate for the next 6 to 8 months, maybe even.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Holy crap!
Whenever we get a break of these hash ribbons things, like it's like a paradigm shift. The miners are capitulating. The people who are like actually mining the coins, they're like, whatever the fuck I have to do, I want to get out of this shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the backbone behind Bitcoin. They're powering all the transactions. Like, I want nothing to do with this shit. And you can see that right here with the buy signal. If it were to close below, we would get the capitulation signal. The miners would capitulate. At that point, we would have to target this bottom bearish critical zone. And right now, because this RSI tells you, that is at $46,600.
That's where everyone thinks that's the bottom, right?
We'll probably get a little bit of a bounce there, get everybody thinking they bought the low, and then just nuke below that.
And then just keep, it's like people are not learning anything. But okay, let's take their money then.
And I am so confident that we would break that $46,000 low that like I'd probably put my entire net worth into shorting the lower high.
From here.
Yeah. Let's see if I can switch to a different chart. I hate how it defaults to the S&P. I don't care about that boomer shit.
It's doing pretty poorly right now. It's 3.5% down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, stock's looking bad.
Getting creamed all over here. All of my screen, except for VIX, is red.
Yeah, literally everything is red except for that and the defense companies.
Oh yeah, defense companies are doing great. Great.
And we have the exact same setup here on CME. We're getting the volatility moving up towards 23%. We're having momentum about to flip back down below 52,300. We're below it by like $200. We're cashing some support at this 200 EMA. We'll see if we can close today around 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. If we can close above this 55 EMA, that'll give some type of hopium to the bulls to at least come up here and fill this gap. Personally, if we go anywhere near this gap, I am max short. Maximum shorting with a stop loss somewhere around here. Because I feel like whenever this setup fires off, it does not have a resolution until we hit the extremes right around here. We're only at 23%. It can go so much further before this setup is finalized that I would not be comfortable taking any type of risk here. And we still have that 200 SMA even on the CME chart right there at $37,000. So we have probably 5 or 6 different setups right now pointing towards this $37,000. Very easily cannot happen. Maybe next week it just turbo reverses and it just goes up from there. I wouldn't bet on it. I would more likely bet on this, but we have to wait until it resolves.
Yeah. It's hard to just go and jump into this trade right now and believe that, you found the bottom where it's going to continue to go down without knowing what international monetary policy will be. Because obviously something needs to happen. This is not but I just want to make sure that everybody knows this is not a real, a market dip. This is not a deepity dip that you want to buy.
No.
This is
It's
like a
fucking
proper
crash.
fucking
It's a
collapse.
fucking crash. It's a crash.
Yeah. So
anybody who says it's a dip is fucking delusional. It's a crash. It's a crash.
Just I was gonna say, I mean, it's impossible not to see it, but some people are saying it's the dippity dip. Yeah.
If you think it's a dip, I have a very nice bridge in London to sell you.
All righty. All right.
Yeah.
So let me.
I can show before you translate one more thing because I finally got my trading view fixed. Why exactly I keep saying structure is broken, and it's simple. We can simply see here, what happened in July was bad and reasonably so. People got bearish, and it was because Bitcoin steadily lost its daily SMA 200, but bull stepped in the sense where it consolidated just right below it. Leading to once we reclaimed it, we got that nice move up. But the reason now why things are different is because we're getting that breakdown and we're getting the follow through. And it leads me to believe that we're in a type of scenario right here, where we got the closure below, and then we were in a very aggressive downtrend. And this was fast and it was aggressive, and many shorted. Leading to a nice squeeze, right? And you can see here, as soon as we got the flip, because it was holding, price was basically, it liked to stay above it, essentially in a bull market. But as soon as we got the flip and it flipped it into resistance, it confirmed a bear market, downtrend all the way down, hitting that 15K level. And then it wasn't until we reclaimed it and flipped into support where we got some actual volatility right here, little deviation. This is where everyone got really bearish in October, but we had the consolidation under it, no follow through, leading to the breakout. This is the first time since the entire rally we've had follow through this aggressive down since losing it. This daily SMA 200 is very key in my opinion. I'm just simply measuring the aspect, if in my opinion, if we're bull or bear, price likes to be above both the EMA 100 and the daily SMA 200. The reason I was telling everyone, especially in our Elite Trading Academy Discord group, watch the daily EMA 100, because very much like how it was in over here, where as soon as we lost it on a daily closure, that's when we started seeing price action become extremely weak. We had this nice dump, rally into it. You could take the other short, which was the retest, leading to that real move where we bottomed in early July. The daily EMA 100 also has been a very strong place for Bitcoin. That it doesn't like to tap it a lot, and B, it doesn't like to be below it for too long. And so again, this is October, so then price really hasn't been below it at all since this quick deviation here, but we had the reclaim. So essentially why I bring this up is this just plays into why I do think the bear market's probably most likely in, will be confirmed on a monthly closure. But right, what's the easy trade then? Well, the easy trade here is essentially what I see is on the, if we go, it was on the 3-day here, we are at major support. So a bounce or at least consolidation would be welcome. That's kind of what bulls want. Consolidation would be welcomed here because it can kind of just make things, it can kind of chill, things can chill out essentially, maybe form a lower time frame range. But like if this level is lost, we don't really have too much support until that 44 to 42K region. And the reason people are talking about this level so much is because this was basically the consolidation before mainly
It's like
that
the only one. Yeah.
the extreme parabolic move up. So what you're going to hear a lot of people say, and rightfully so, is we're just back testing it. This eventually, I was always expecting this to get hit this quickly, though. Well, that's just the difference. So, at this point, hitting 44K wouldn't surprise me. And definitely I would expect some kind of reaction around this level here because this was a legitimate breakout zone. So assuming that we just retest it, if we don't get a reaction here, and this is a 3-day chart, so this closes on spot in 1 day and 10 hours, but if price does close below this, it'll play into, I do think we could aggressively dump into here. And then once we get into this 42,300 to 44,600 region, I do believe that we can get a bigger bounce from that region. I often tell people there's no free lunch in markets, and you can see perfectly where that 5-day EMA 100 sits. Right in this nice zone here. So this would be the bounce zone I'd be looking for, but essentially just like what we saw on the daily here, the bounce zone to me would just be a shorting opportunity, and it would be nothing more than that until proven otherwise. And we can clearly see as soon as price lost it, this, I'm sure, lots of FOMO and traders and it's over and whatnot. Right, it was an aggressive move from once it got lost all the way to wick low to 30%. Trekked up slowly, but it did trek up, finally hitting it. Because, in my opinion, with these moving averages, Bitcoin likes to flip them, but it won't do it so quickly where everyone takes the easy short. Bitcoin wants to make it as hard as possible. So, in my opinion, right, the easy short would just simply be waiting for the simple support flipped into resistance trade. Why I say that is just because it gives you an easy level to target while also having a logical stop loss. And that's why I just mentioned the daily EMA 100 as being one, but then also the daily SMA 200. I think will definitely reject first, in my opinion. Which is sitting at 61,500, which at this point doesn't seem like that will get hit, but it wouldn't surprise me, is what I'm saying, especially with how many probably shorts entered the market, how many longs probably closed, just how people are feeling overall. I do believe that it would not surprise me if we had some kind of mean reversion bounce, sometime. I don't know when, but sometime actually flipping that level. You can see every time Bitcoin does have nice moves, but it does like to come back to it and just give us that nice flip of either resistance or support. So something to watch if you're biased on shorts or longs. And to me, that's the easy trade. Why? Because you just have a stop loss that okay, cool. Bitcoin just reclaimed it. I'm cutting that shit and I'm longing because then it's the same theory, just on the flip side. We reject it. Great. You got an extremity short exactly to the book where you should short, which is that daily SMA 200 level. Flip that. That's just where Bitcoin naturally will start rejecting in a bear market. So that's what we have to look into now, especially with the weekly being in such an aggressive downtrend with Tether dominance too, confirming that. And Dixie as well is another big trap because to the upside, people forget, Dixie really didn't correlate with Bitcoin too much on the upside because we had a Dixie pump with Bitcoin pump. So it was funny to see, Dixie going down so much, everyone on crypto Twitter talking about we should pump. Didn't follow through on that. Dixie's, even red today, while markets across the board are red. Very interesting scenario, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, this is fucking so interesting after all this time, and how it's playing out, and also how diluted all the signals that we always trust got in this market. Like everything completely changed, everything rallied together, everything rallied in pairs. No one was expecting that to be the case, and it just fucking did it. Like period. It just did it. So it is what it is, and this is where we at right now. Interesting move right now by Bitcoin. I think it's just grabbing a lot of people into thinking, we're going long, boys. We're going long. Get in. We got the bottom just by looking at this.
Yeah. I see what you mean, because we are bouncing here. I mean, on my meme chart, this could be the range, right? It perfectly tapped this level here. Major level overall. This 40, it's like 49,000, 50,000 level makes sense, lines up with that psychological level. So a bounce now to 61 maybe, but up until then we have to look at this 57,500 area, just being another flip of resistance, possibly going lower to that 44K region. For me, it's all, as long as Bitcoin's under the daily EMA 100 and the daily SMA 200, I see no reason why we wouldn't hit 44K. Maybe not in one day, but that to me doesn't, that low 40, even wick to high 30s wouldn't surprise me at this point, just because of that daily EMA, daily SMA 200 loss. So for me, any rallies, if we, it's like a bear prayer essentially, getting rallies into that, because if we get any rallies into that, that's just to the book, textbook, like bear market activity. We get a rally into that, it gets everyone long again. Everyone's happy they caught the bottom. Everyone's just like, dunking on bears, only for us to get a really obvious rejection candle probably at it. If not, maybe a quick deviation, right? One day it closes, the next day it loses it. That'd be the mega trap leading to the actual dump.
And to add on to that, right now on the monthly is the first time we've ever switched to a sell signal on the Joule since December of 2021. And what happened after that? We had a massive dump like we have right now. We dipped down to like around 30K. We went from 30K to 48K. At that point, everybody was shitting on the bears. They're like, the bottom is in. You guys are so fucking stupid for being bearish and everything. We rejected right at 48K. We went to 15K from there.
Mm-hmm. The real move happened, and that just plays into Bitcoin's it loves the dirty dance. So and
it really does.
It loves the dirty dance.
What helps you with Bitcoin, like you don't even really need TA. All you need to understand is which move will fuck over the most amount of people as possible. It's a PvP market.
Yeah,
of course.
So oftentimes both sides, longs and shorts, no free lunch. So be cautious, play the volatility if you're playing it. But I just watch the dailies at this point, especially if you're new to trading or even investing. Why would you want to invest in an asset that is now really freshly breaking its daily SMA 200, while also losing its weekly EMA 9, potentially losing the monthly 9? It's better just to wait. You don't want a knife catch. There's no reason to feel like you're gonna miss out on something, because how long in 2022, after we did the whole dump down, how long we ranged and Bitcoin didn't move for weeks and weeks and weeks,
and it was literally going like this.
Exactly.
It just bores the shit out of you.
So there's always time to buy.
And you guys both know how I'm always on the bullish side. If I'm bearish, like some shit is fucked up, right?
You know that something is really wrong right now. Yeah. For sure. So. All righty. Well, let me translate this bullshit and let's go. Let's keep going into this. Vale, pues, aquí les va. Es lo que estamos viendo con Bitcoin en este momento. Bastante sencillo. Podemos ver estas velas. Lo tengo en la semanal en este momento. ¿Qué venimos a hacer? Venimos a hacer un alto más bajo, un alto más bajo, y acá tuvimos confirmación con un bajo más bajo, un bajo más bajo y un bajo más bajo. Ahora, ¿qué queremos esperar en este momento de lo que estamos viendo? Básicamente lo que no queremos hacer es cerrar abajo de los 55,900 más o menos. Si cerramos abajo de los 55,900, muy probablemente esto se vaya a ir, pero para absolutamente el piso. Les voy a poner esta acá para que más o menos está por ahí donde no quiere cerrar. ¿Ok? Entonces, abajo de, ¿quieres que esta vela suba en la semanal y que te dé una muy buena formación? Pero la realidad es que no lo está haciendo y esto tiene pinta de que estamos rompiendo tendencia y vamos para abajo. Este momento, todo esto, toda esta volatilidad, lo que estamos viendo en este momento es para eliminar shorts, longs, para que nadie pueda entrar y se sienta cómodo, porque ahorita lo que va a hacer es, si el precio va para abajo, que es lo que tiene más cara de que estamos entrando en una tendencia bajista en esto. Si el precio va para abajo, lo que quiere hacer ahorita es decirle a todo el mundo que va a ir para arriba. Entonces te va a dar la absolutamente falsa esperanza de que el precio va a rebotar a la alza y que esto fue el fin de esto, para que la mayor cantidad de gente se meta en long y después tirarlos y que la tendencia para abajo elimine a toda esa gente y la menos cantidad de retailers se pueda llevar lana. Otra cosa que estamos viendo también en todo esto, de todo lo que analizaron estos perros, es si nos podemos saber, perdimos todos los EMAs y SMAs importantes. El SMA 200 está acá en los 61,335, es la línea morada. El EMA 9 es el rojo que está, no, perdón, el EMA 9 es este verde que también tiene, que se están cruzando por ahí de los 61,400. El EMA 100, que es también otra cosa que no le gusta perder al precio, está en los 62,200, por lo que muy probablemente vayamos a tener un rebote por acá. No tiene que pasar todo esto tan rápido, ¿no? Podría irse para acá y buscar este rebote a la línea. Ahora, ¿por qué lo digo? Porque cuando volteas a ver todo esto, ve las pocas veces que pierdes la línea morada y la línea roja. Lo puedes ver. Cada que las pierdes tienes caídas gigantescas. Aquí perdiste la roja y puedes ver el tamaño de la caída, ¿no? Que es el 100. Fue de literalmente 71%. Entonces, cuando pierdes la morada, ¿qué tipo de caída vimos? La perdiste justamente aquí. Estás hablando de un 66%. Estás bajo las dos en este momento. Esos números para nosotros coinciden abajo de esta zona. Lo que estamos viendo con los indicadores de Farhan y lo que está diciendo Alex es que probablemente la zona de los entre 39 y 34 mil dólares sea un objetivo bastante realista por acá más o menos, ¿no? Que esto sea un objetivo bastante realista. No todo esto tiene que pasar bastante rápido, puede haber bastante tiempo entre eso. Lo que quieren ver ahorita es estar pendientes por cualquier rebote que haya, ver que vaya a ir a tocar estas líneas, el EMA 100 o el SMA 200, y ahí muy probablemente lo que quiere hacer es abrir un short por el rechazo de la línea, porque normalmente una vez que pasa esto, si vas a buscar rechazos de la línea, pudiste hacer muchísimo dinero en cada uno de ellos, como en este rechazo de la línea, literalmente, si hubieras hecho un short, te hubiera dejado hasta el fondo 67% en el SMA 200. Entonces, se ve bajista todavía. Lo que los alcistas quieren retomar es el nivel de los 55,900. Si no tienes un cierre hoy, arriba de eso, olvidémonos todo esto y la tendencia es bajista. Lo bueno de todo esto es que sabemos hacer shorts, lo bueno de todo esto es que podemos apostar en el mercado al revés, así que no se me preocupen tanto, no estén tan preocupados porque podemos hacer dinero también en la bajada, que es lo padre de saber hacer trading, ¿no? Y con eso les quiero decir, y vamos a empezar a decir esto. Antes de en realidad seguir para adelante, quiero decir esto. Si a Bitcoin le encanta la inflación, deflación probablemente no le guste nada, que es lo que a mí me había dado miedo desde hace un rato. Así que solamente tengan eso pendiente en la cabeza y vamos a ver, vamos a darle. All righty, boys. Ready and remove my screen. Now, let's get going. Dollar peso. Can you guys help me with that? I don't understand why it's the only thing I posted on my Twitter for days, but I guess they want to hear your expert opinions and not my bullshit opinions. So USD, is it USD MXN? Yeah, USD MXN. Oh, this is a very good pre-indicator that shit's gonna get fucked up.
USD. Yeah, that's what you were mentioning last time we were looking at it. I think it was my first time actually looking at it. I know I have a chart on it. USD MXN. Was it MXN USD?
MXN USD. USD MXN.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I do have a chart. Yeah. So we did go over this. Let me share my screen here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, very interesting. Excuse me.
Please.
Nice. So yeah, we have here the US dollar versus Mexican peso on the daily chart. Insane strength overall. And I say that because this is now in a daily uptrend, in my opinion. So to me, this $16.27 region to me looks like a bottom potentially, and this is going to go up. And and the reason I say that is just because this low here, this highs, my apologies, was it really important. This was a rejection high, double top on the daily, leading to that low. As soon as price was able to break that, it kind of flipped the structure. And then, we even got the very beautiful back test of our meme support actually that we drew on stream, leading to that, essentially leading to a higher low to the higher high. Curious to see how this looks on the weekly. Yeah, so the weekly confirms to me the uptrend. Let me throw the 9 on as well. So you can see here the weekly is now healthily above this is the 200 SMA and then also the EMA 100 on the weekly, confirming to me that it is in an uptrend now, along with steadily holding that EMA 9, and it's healthily up now. So to me, it does seem likely that this 21.80 to $22 region is probably going to get hit sometime. And essentially you can see we're just basically back in this range that it does like to stay in. But, the reactions here, I mean, we can't disregard this reaction that it had. And this does play into what you were mentioning where, last time we had this major volatility here was around that March of 2020 area, playing into kind of the theory that, there's more at play here, that, things are kind of really wrong overall on the macro global scale of things. So overall, this is looking really good. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a push up back to this $22 region, which is resistance. And we have to assume that just because of how strong the uptrend is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
One thing though, we got to give credit where credit is due. Before anybody else, Alejandro was the one who pointed out that the Mexican dollar with the Mexican peso with the US dollar in correlation with the stock market crashing.
No, absolutely. Because I had no idea even about that. It's interesting.
Not only that, and I appreciate that, but I asked everyone. I literally went to all of my smartest friends and the people that have like the most connections in the financial world, and I asked them, why the fuck is this going on? And they all always ignore it. Like they look at it, they're like, huh, interesting. And they ignore it. Like they turn around and go like, whatever. So first of all, that's a great way to use an indicator that no one's using, because whenever no one is paying attention to one thing and that thing always works, then that thing will continue to work. And this is one of those. Then yesterday, I was talking to Michael Guyett, who's right now rejoicing out of the fact that he got the Japanese carry trade over, like, right? And I told him, you want to see something more accurate? Look at the peso dollar. And everybody in the comments was like, what the fuck? It's true. Why? And I couldn't figure it out, but I think I know why. Are you boys ready for this one?
I'm ready.
So and this happened before in 2008 and also in the 2000s. And it also happened in 2017, which is when the stock market corrected and then it got like propped up. And it also happened in 2020. So it's told you every single time the stock market is going to correct in the United States. And the reason why is simple. I think what happens is here comes 2020. We got to drop interest rates to zero, right? Like the dollar doesn't want anything to do with that. So what do they do? The United States. So I'm sorry. the United States starts COVID policy. COVID policy in 2020, and then 2021, they know they're going to raise rates, right? Other countries know they're going to raise rates, and they all raise rates. But American smart money, and I'm talking about a lot of money, what they're doing is, yeah, I could put my money and get that 5% on the dollar, or I can grab all of our money, take it to Mexico, appreciate their coin by investing in it like crazy, and also get an 11% a year return. Forget about the 5%. So you get the upside on the appreciation on the coin, and then you get the 11% a year. So when you're about to reverse and everything is going, it's going to go back again to where it was. What you do is you sell your pesos. That brings the value down. You put all of your money in dollars on the last available time to purchase American debt at high rates. You park your money there while you let everything else go to shit. So that
how did you catch that?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
How did you catch that?
That's the only thing that makes sense. If
That's
I'm
like
thinking
a big
about
brain move, 100%.
if I'm thinking about bonds, this is the only thing I think makes sense. So I literally I've been wondering this for months, and yesterday I had that I had that thought. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but that's what I think.
But I'm improving too. Remember before when I used to say fundamentals didn't matter?
Yeah.
And then I didn't really care whenever people are talking, especially you when you're talking about pesos going up. I was like, sure, there's a correlation. But now we see it matters. It matters. Especially after you lose tens of thousands of dollars. You lose a couple tens of thousands of dollars and you're like, okay,
yeah, it matters.
Next time, what am I going to do differently?
I'm going to listen to the idiot with the peso and the dollar. I'm sorry, Alex. Go on.
Yeah, so I did mark off those areas you mentioned. And yeah, you can just see the reaction here every time there's been some kind of, global, crisis per se. It's essentially resulted in parabolic moves here. So essentially what I see now is I basically see this is very clean price action with the US dollar versus Mexican peso. The reason I say it is because this monthly literally held exactly where it needed to. This is a major level here on price. This was basically, the 200 SMA on the monthly though. And you can just see how strong it was. Only needed to tap it one time, shot right up, close into a nice candle, leading basically to that higher low, to the higher high. Very clean price action overall. We see this 9 here got reclaimed, and then here very, very quick tap and go. So this thing to me looks primed. And then the monthly getting, healthily above the EMA 100 on the monthly, to me signals, this thing is ready to go up. And it kind of reminds me of here where price back tested it, this monthly EMA 100, and then shot up. It wasn't very long until it went, $10 all the way to $15, which is kind of insane, especially for an FX pair.
Oh yeah,
right here as well. Trek down, tapped it, shot up. So this reclaiming this is to me a huge deviation. It held where it needed to, where the SMA 200 was, and now it basically on this monthly closure, it's been doing the tap and go. So is this all it is now? We went down, tapped it right here, along with our meme line support right at $18.50. To me, that's what it looked like, and that's what it has been doing from here on the 200 SMA, from here to the 9, and now here to the 100. So to me, this is extremely strong. I'll be looking to that $21 region, $22.12 region to be resistance potentially. But yeah, this is in a steady uptrend on all time frames essentially. So we have to respect the trend here, and this chart is extremely bullish, which isn't good news for overall, like what the macros
risk
like. And risk, in summary, very bad for risk on right now. And you can just backdate kind of what markets did around these levels here in 2008, 2020, and now potentially in 2024. So overall not looking good. This though is looking extremely bullish, and like this would be a forex pair I'd love to trade it. You know, I used to trade forex a lot, and I have never traded this pair. But this would be a pair I'd like to trade just simply because it has that volatility aspect there. And if you can have, you know, look a different way, have a different perspective, see what the chart's telling you. Yeah, this would have printed nicely overall. So very interesting chart. This was you know, I've been watching Euro too, and yeah, the FX pairs are going crazy this past week.
You know what else adds on to the idea that everything is fucked? Apple is down like 10% today.
No.
I saw
From the low was.
I got a notification on Yahoo Finance that Apple is down like 9.4%.
It was. It's 4.75%. I think what's happening right now, it's just everyone's absorbing it and saying like, oh, it's good. It's good. This is going to be a rebound. So you see, even the Japanese market, when it opened, the Nikkei went down 6%. Then it went back up to only 3% loss. And then he dropped towards the end of the day to 8.5 or wherever he landed.
Yeah.
So
You know,
I think that's what we're seeing right now.
I think Apple too.
9.4, 10% doesn't seem like a lot. But then you gotta recognize Apple's a $3 trillion company. They just lost more in a couple of hours than the entire market cap of Ethereum.
Yep. Yeah. It absolutely got fucking destroyed.
Yeah, I think it's because of just Buffett. I mean, I think there was news that dropped over the weekend on Sunday.
Apple stock.
You know, he's holding cash, he's selling stocks. I don't put too much weight in those news articles, but I do think that's probably it doesn't help with the markets going down today, but I think that exacerbated the move down on Apple.
On the other hand, you got to realize, or you got to question, Warren Buffett is selling almost $300 billion of stock to prepare for the crash. Is he participating in the crash?
Well, he
300 billion.
way.
Yeah, 300 billion worth of sell pressure is a lot.
But he had sold before, though. That's the thing. That what you're seeing is just the news to justify the moves, and this is what I always say.
Yeah, because everybody follows him once the filings are public.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. All of this shit that everyone's looking at right now, they think this is just regular people selling. This is institutions selling. This is not regular people moving the market. Like,
no,
come on. Our little portfolios with like 10, 20, 100 grand aren't going to do anything compared to Kathy Wood when she's like, I'm going to get rid of fucking 120,000 shares of Tesla. Like, what are
we can have we can have a $10 million portfolio and we're not going to scratch the market.
Nothing.
No, you can see, I mean, sentiment retail is still there. Fear and greed probably isn't at max fear right now.
No.
You know, and also we see it too. I mean, people are still in that buy the dip mentality. You know, buy something, hold it, close your eyes for 30 days, you'll be green. You know, and that'll work until it doesn't work. But you know, where people go wrong is when the musical chairs stop and you're the last person at the party. You don't want to be the last person at the party. So how you kind of you know, try to, you know, I just don't think retail is really capitulated per se. I don't even think they've acknowledged yet what's potentially at hand here. And we're all retail, but what I mean like is new people in the market, because you have to remember in up only markets like we've seen going parabolically up, there is so many new people now in trading than ever before. I truly believe that, you know.
Do you guys remember in spring of 2021 when we hit 65K and then Elon announced that Bitcoin was not sustainable and he said we're no longer going to accept it, and then we instantly dumped from 65K down to 28K or 30K.
Yeah,
sentiment was worse then than it is now, which tells me we still have more room to go down.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Like, people are not scared right now at all.
No, they're not at all.
At all. So,
and then on the other hand, you look at Tether dominance and it looks like it still has more room to go up.
No, I mean, all of these correlations. Dude, this is a financial crash, like a worldwide financial crash.
Yeah. You can't exactly call it a black swan event, but it's the closest thing that there is to it.
Well, if the Japanese carry trade really does play out its full form, it'll become a black swan because it'll create a currency imbalance and a currency crisis, and then that probably will also lock up all of the debt.
True, but a lot of people have been speculating that for the past couple of years. Like this is going to happen in Japan.
Yes, 100%. But while they've been waiting on that, there's also been a liquidity crisis that's been coming no matter what. And the peso is also another one of those things that tells us, because the milkshake theory applied when you saw the peso fucking absolutely the dollar skyrocketed against the peso in 2020, and you're seeing a little bit of that again. That's why it's scary. And also the fact that bonds, that everyone's like literally going to bonds so hard. Like, why did this become the largest bond rally in the universe? Why?
Do you guys remember that pi cycle indicator I used to talk about on Bitcoin?
Mm-hmm.
So in 2020, whenever we rallied up to 14K, then we started going down, and they announced COVID, we ended up correcting down to that red, like lower moving average. That only corrects to there during Black Swan events. Right now, that red moving average is at 38K.
And I think this is a black swan that everybody kind of saw coming, but no one gave a fuck. It's really weird. But it's like the recession, right? Everybody's like, oh, now we're like, dude, I went to a restaurant this weekend and the guy, the waiter was like, Alejandro, what do you think about the recession? Like, out of nowhere. I was like, what? What? Why are we now in a recession? But what I'm saying is, while everyone's aware, it normally makes it less likely that it's happening. But this, everyone has seen coming for years and years and years, and it's a deterioration of everything altogether, getting us there step by step. And I think we're just getting there. So
right,
I don't know.
this is just the beginning, potentially. Right, this could get, in my opinion, really bad. And I was looking at total overall, just the total market cap of crypto, Bitcoin, and alts, and it looks terrible to me. To me, it looks like crypto is on the verge of just dying. Honestly, I don't think it will ever die, but to me, the way it looks like it just looks like death.
Also, one of the reasons why I don't really like credit total market cap that much is especially what Crown told me the other day, where he's like, there's a whole bunch of illiquid shit coins that are like worth nothing that are also included in that total market cap.
Very true, though.
That's why I think
you're right.
I feel like Tether dominance is the better indicator than total market cap, because that directly tells you how many people are selling into Tether.
So then, like, to me, total is essentially either just confirming that, like, people should not be focused on.
Can I show you guys Tether dominance on my chart?
Hey, let me just do the this one so that we get it moving, and then let's get into the dominance chart.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
All righty. Let me just share this, and also gives you guys a little break. So enjoy. Ok, estamos viendo la relación del peso contra el dólar. Esto es algo de lo que he estado platicando. He estado preguntando como loco por todos lados por qué cada que vemos este tipo de escenarios, y quiero que sepan que este también fue, este escenario también fue una caída en la bolsa de Estados Unidos, pero queremos saber por qué. Es lo que yo estaba preguntando. ¿Por qué el peso nos predice que el mercado va a caer cuando sube así? Lo ven hoy, lo ven en el 2020, lo ven en el 2008, literalmente antes de que todo se vaya al nabo, y esto es, ¿ok? Lo que estamos viendo. Lo que yo dije que creo que estamos viendo en este momento es lo siguiente. Para empezar, tienes que darte cuenta de esto. Ve esta tabla en la mensual y puedes ver que casi nunca tocamos el S&P 200 y ahorita venimos y rebotamos en él. Eso quiere decir que lleva mucha fuerza. Cuando vemos el EMA 100, estás hablando de pequeños lugares donde lo toca y tienes este rebote tan fuerte también. Entonces, estás literalmente rebotando en todas las cosas que quieres para que esto sea alcista. Veniste y te apoyaste también del EMA 9, que es el verde. Veniste y te apoyaste en el EMA 21, que es el amarillo. También el 100, el EMA 100, y esto fue lo que te dio este último movimiento para acá. El peso, el dólar peso lleva muchísima fuerza a favor del dólar, por lo que estamos viendo, sin problema alguno va a llegar a los 20. Lo que creemos es que también sin problema alguno va a llegar a los 22 y creemos que puede irse para arriba sin problema también, simplemente por la fuerza y la temporalidad. Ahora, la gente que me pregunte, ¿por qué pasa esto? La razón por la que yo creo que pasa, porque quiero que sepan esto, he estado viendo esto y sé que si me siguen en X están cansados de mí diciéndoles que esto pasa todo el tiempo antes de una crisis, bla, 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 y esto está pasando una vez más. Le he preguntado a todos mis amigos, a toda la gente que conozco que trabaja en cosas financieras, económicas, etcétera. Les pregunté a todos, güey, ¿por qué pasa esto cada que estamos viendo el peso contra el dólar? Uno, todo el mundo lo ve y dice, interesante, ¿no? Es lo primero que ven, interesante. Luego lo ven y dicen, pues no sé, y les vale verga. Se me hace muy extraño porque normalmente, y también algo muy bueno. ¿Por qué? Porque un buen indicador muy poca gente lo usa. Y este es un gran indicador que por alguna razón a nadie se le quiere clavar en la cabeza, a nadie le importa. Ayer lo puse enfrente de alguien que trabaja en Nueva York, que tiene un fondo, lo puse en un tweet y toda su gente también contestó, sí es cierto, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Y yo creo que la realidad es un poco más sencilla de lo que pensamos. Vamos a usar el 2020 como un buen ejemplo para que lo tengan, porque lo tenemos todavía fresco. ¿Por qué el peso gana terreno contra el dólar después de que el dólar se coge al peso? El dólar se coge al peso y ahí, ¿qué es lo que pasa? Las oportunidades para inversores de Estados Unidos se disminuyen. Entonces, ¿qué pueden hacer para poder hacerlo? Y estamos hablando de dinero, de cantidades fuertes, porque estos son bonos. No estás hablando de que tú y yo compramos pesos y dólares, estás hablando que el país o los fondos más grandes de Estados Unidos y México están haciendo esto en conjunto. Y es por eso que vemos esto. Entonces, 2020, tienes el subidongo, lo voy a poner acá en pantalla para que lo puedan ver. Tienes el subidongo del 2020, se da justo en febrero y acaba en abril del 2020, ¿no? Antes de que todo el desmadre ocurra. Si veniste aquí, esto quiere decir que en $25 por peso puedes cambiar tus dólares por un chingo de pesos. Y es justamente lo que hacen los fondos y los gobiernos. Cambian sus dólares por pesos todo este tiempo. ¿Y qué pasa? Empiezan a comprar tesorería mexicana. ¿Por qué? Porque sí, Estados Unidos te va a pagar 5% por dólares, pero si nosotros compramos todos estos pesos, el peso va a subir de valor, lo que nos va a dar ¿qué? Apreciación. ¿A qué punto de apreciación llegamos? 35%. 35% de apreciación a los fondos que compraron acá. Y no nada más eso. En vez de solamente tenerlo en dólares y ganar 5%, ya hicieron 35%, pero ahora les están pagando 11% anual en pesos. ¿Ok? Eso quiere decir que hasta acá, que al final de esto, hiciste una fortuna acumulando entre el subidongo del valor de tu moneda y tu 11%. ¿Qué pasa en abril del 2024? Dices, vámonos a los dólares, porque es la última vez que vamos a poder comprar dólares, bonos, a la altura a la que están en este momento y poder protegernos de lo que viene. Y por eso es el precursor a lo que viene, que es lo que pasó aquí, antes de lo que estamos platicando en COVID, lo que viene. ¿Qué es lo que viene? Esta venta para ir a refugiarse en el dólar, que es la moneda más obviamente usada como refugio en el mundo. ¿Y qué es lo que pasa? Ahora metes todos tus pezones y el dólar se empieza a apreciar contra el peso, 17%. Es lo que lleva desde abril, un 17% para arriba. Y este 17% para arriba se lo están llevando más aparte del 5% anual. Es por eso que este es un gran indicador, porque literalmente los cerdos de gobierno, los marranos del gobierno, los marranos gobiernos y los fondos gigantescos están haciendo estos cambios a ese grado que puedes cambiar el valor de la moneda, para que entiendan el nivel de intercambio que se están haciendo entre ellos y por qué rotan el capital de esta forma. Y de esta forma no llama nada la atención este trade. Esto se me hace el trade más verga de toda la historia y muy poca gente lo tiene. Vale. All right. Which chart were you guys showing me?
I wanted to show Tether dominance. Let me share my
Tether dominance. Throw it on screen. Hang on. I'm sorry. There you go.
No,
let me remove this. I'll throw Tether dominance right now. All right. Let me put it up. I'm going to pee and I'm going to listen to you.
All right. So the reason why I love Tether dominance so much is because very few people look at this. Everybody's looking at Dixie, when Dixie does not really correlate. By the way, Dixie, for whoever doesn't know, is a US dollar index. Dixie does not correlate that much with crypto as much as it correlates with stocks. Whenever, like, there's been a whole bunch of times whenever Dixie is going down and Bitcoin will dump with it. There's been times where Dixie is going up and Bitcoin will go up with it. Tether dominance directly tells you how much of the market is going into Tether. Tether is USDT, which everybody knows, the main stable coin in crypto. When everybody, like most people, whenever they sell their crypto, they go directly into Tether. So whenever Tether is going up, it tells you like directly that with a direct correlation that crypto is going down because everybody is selling their crypto and they're buying Tether. So you look at Tether dominance right now on the weekly. We're getting momentum flipped like very healthily to the upside. We're getting volatility supporting it, and we're getting a fresh buy signal on the jewel. We're finding some resistance right here, which is expected at the 50% range. But as long as we close over this 38.2% range, which is considered the shallow fib, that's going to tell us that Tether is in a very healthy uptrend. And we're probably going to base around here at this 38.2% level before we go up to this medium line over here at 7.04%. And considering how big the Tether market cap is, if you move up another 1% on Tether market cap, that would correlate with around another like $5,000 to $8,000 drop on Bitcoin. And right now, based on like 5 or 6 different setups I have on Bitcoin right now, I'm looking at somewhere around like 40K to 38K. And if we were to go up here to around 7% Tether dominance, maybe go up to this higher level here to test these highs at 8.7%, that would easily correlate with Bitcoin to 38K. And if we go up to the monthly, you can see that even on the monthly, the volatility momentum is freshly turning up, volatility is going down, which gives us a target of the median. And we still have not hit that median. The median is currently at 8%. If you were to go up another 2% from here, that would correlate with at least another $10,000, maybe $12,000 drop on Bitcoin. We have right here on the jewel. The jewel is giving us a fresh buy signal underneath the 35 of the bearish control zone. The last time we've never had this in Tether dominance history. Ever since Tether was ever created, we've never had a jewel flip to the buy signal in the bearish control zone, which
Holy
is a
shit.
very fucking significant signal. I would probably say that if we can close above this 7% range, we're probably going to go up to this 32% range, around 11%. At that point, I don't even want to know where Bitcoin would be at. We moved up from 5% to 6%, and Bitcoin went from $70,000 to $52,000.
What is that move? I'm sorry, from what to what?
From 5% to 6.7%.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin went from $70,000 to $52,000. So if we go from 6% up to 11%, where is Bitcoin going to be at? It would be lucky. It would be lucky to be 25K at that point. We would be lucky to be 25K. At that point, I'm thinking like we're going to revisit those 15K lows. We have a CME gap at $9,500. Like Bitcoin is cooked. It's done. I wouldn't want to hold that shit ever then at that point. But
Holy crap.
This Tether dominance is giving you the story right here.
We're like, and you have it on a monthly, right?
Yeah, right now Tether dominance is looking stronger than it has ever looked. We go to the quarterly. Let's check out the quarterly chart. Quarterly is 3 months. Right now we're getting a fresh flip up on the quarterly, and we're getting momentum flipping, volatility flipping down. That gives us a target of the quarterly median. Right now the quarterly median is somewhere right here around 7%. So at the very least, we're going to target that range. And based on the weekly, it does not look like we're going to stop there because we have a fresh buy signal on the weekly. It looks like we're going to go at the very least these highs, if not 11%. And at that point, crypto is absolutely cooked.
Wow.
That would be nuts.
Yeah. The only hopium I can see right now, which like is just pure hopium. Like you strap the belt around your arm and you inject the hopium into your veins. That's the only hopium I can think of, is if that bill in the Senate passes right now, where Senator, I think his name is Loomis, proposed a bill to buy 500 Bitcoin every day until the government holds 4 million Bitcoin.
I just feel like nothing's going to get passed up.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to pass. Because right now, we have a lame duck president. Biden's already announced that he's not running for re-election. And usually, whenever we have a lame duck president, nothing ever passes.
Because nothing gets done.
Everybody in Congress realizes, like, he has no political capital. Why should we help him?
Yep.
We just want to wait for the next administration to come in, and we want some political capital with the next administration. Right now, like, nothing is going to pass. And usually, whenever a bill is submitted to the Senate, like you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I believe it's the 90-day threshold. So whenever it doesn't get passed after 90 days, it gets
on average. Right? Yeah, but they can extend.
Yeah, but they will probably not extend this one. Especially because right now the Democratic administration really just dislikes crypto. Like, not take a side, but it's like an objective fact that the Democratic administration does not like crypto.
Yeah, they do not. You're right. You're absolutely right.
What is the momentum pivots look like on Tether?
Tether, let's check that. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I didn't think of that.
Look at the mainly the weekly, monthly too. 2-day, weekly.
I'm gonna start on the weekly and then we'll go to the monthly.
You could, maybe the 5-day.
Tether dominance right here. All right. So
Oh,
right
wow.
now, Tether the dominance is healthily pointed towards the upside above 6.28%. So we have about 6 days and 9 hours to before that closes. Right now, based on this candle on the HPDR chart, it looks like we're going to close above it because we're finding a little bit of resistance, but we're still above the 38.2% level. As long as we're above the 38.2% level, I consider that to be a bullish setup. And right now we have volatility moving up with along with this move up, which tells us that this is a very it's an impulsive move. It's not a corrective move. If we were to see volatility moving down like we did right here, whenever price is moving up, this was around like 2022, whenever we were in the peak of the bear market. That told us that this was a corrective move, and we should look for lows on Bitcoin to bid. Right now we're getting the exact opposite thing, where we're getting like volatility moving up, and so as Tether has some strength right now. And instead of looking for bids on Bitcoin, we should be looking for sells. We should be looking for shorts. But let's switch to the monthly and see what the monthly pivot is at. Right now, the monthly pivot is at 3.99%.
Oh,
look
man.
Look at Tether dominance right now. We're at 6.11%. Tether dominance would have to drop 50% from here to turn the monthly down.
To save this. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually insane.
When has Tether dominance ever dropped 50%? Let's count from here. This is the 2022 cycle high. We dropped 50% from there. What is the likelihood we're going to drop 50% from here after the 2022 cycle high, when the Fed announced that they were done cutting rates and they were saying that we're going to look for rate cuts from there? And everybody started pricing in rate cuts. So what is going to happen from here that's going to give us a 50% drop? Like, I just do not see it happening.
No.
And if we go to the quarterly right now looks like one of the strongest charts I've ever seen in my life. We have a clean deviation below this low right here. We've reclaimed it. Now we're above the 9 EMA. And the quarterly pivot is at 7.34%. Based on the weekly, how the weekly chart looks, by the end of the next, I would say the end of August, we're probably going to be healthily above 7.34%.
Has the quarterly ever flipped up?
Yeah, the last time the quarterly flipped up was in October of 2021. October of 2021, right before the bear market started, when Bitcoin was at I believe 57 or 58K. This flipped up. Bitcoin went from there to 30K before any type of bounce. Then we got a bounce from 30K up to 48K. Then we went to 15K. So right now, it lines up with that. What I'm thinking, maybe we get a CME gap fill around 65K, go down from there to the 40s, maybe 38K, get a little pity bounce, retest that 44, 45K consolidation zone that everybody's calling for right now. But and then revisit those 15K lows. I'm not saying this is set in stone right now. I'm still waiting for the weekly and monthly close, but right now I'm seeing that is the highest probability maneuver. Maybe we can get a bounce and it can reverse. It's happened so many times in crypto. It's not unheard of to get a huge V reversal and the whole weekly downward move is reversed in one day. It's happened a lot of times, but it's not something you would want to bet on unless you're a gambler.
Yeah, basically.
And if you're a gambler, just go to Vegas. You'll get some free drinks.
That's
true.
It's way more fun. You can get some lung cancer while you're there.
Lung cancer,
hepatitis,
free drinks, free hotel room.
Yeah,
you get a bunch of shit. Just don't burn your money into the crypto market.
Good luck.
The exchanges want you to do that. Whenever you get liquidated, they make more fees than ever. Because the way the exchanges work is they don't cut your trade at liquidation. They cut it a little bit above. So then instead of getting 0.0004% fees, they make closer to 1% fees.
Oh, good for them.
That's why the exchanges. That's why whenever you look at the bear market, the exchanges are making more money than ever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The only time the exchanges do not make a lot of money is in the FTX scenario when they're insolvent, because in the bear market, people tend to withdraw their money.
Yeah.
And if they don't have it, then they're fucked. And we saw that what happened with FTX.
Oh, we learned from all of those Celsius, FTX, and all of those.
Right now, Binance, because Binance and Bybit, the main two exchanges, they all have their reserves uploaded online in the blockchain, so everybody can see what they have. So right now, it doesn't look like they're insolvent, but if they do flip insolvent, then all this crypto is probably fucked for the next 2 years.
Yeah, it doesn't look good altogether. Rápidamente les voy a platicar lo que Farhan nos estaba diciendo aquí de la dominancia de USDT. Una de las cosas que tenemos que ver en esto es simplemente cómo tiene una correlación negativa a Bitcoin o contraria a Bitcoin, si lo quieres ver así. Mientras más sube, más va a bajar Bitcoin. Lo que estamos viendo en la tabla y básicamente en la semanal y lo que estaba diciendo Farhan es, no habíamos visto todavía nada y solo hemos tenido una subida de literalmente de 3% a 6.12% y con eso Bitcoin se fue de 70,000 a básicamente $52,000, ¿no? Con solo esto. Lo que estamos viendo es que mínimo vamos a ir a testear esta parte media del canal en los 7.18, pero muy probablemente vayamos a buscar el 11%. Si vamos a buscar el 11% en esto, no les podemos explicar lo que le va a pasar al mercado de cripto. O sea, no hay nada que nos salve, básicamente. Entonces, si no lo tienen, tengan un ojo bastante bien pelado con la dominancia de USDT en el mercado de cripto, porque esto es un gran indicador. Otro que usé que tampoco falla es este, que es el del Nasdaq entre Bitcoin, que cada que vamos a tocar fondos acá son altos históricos, bueno, son los topes del mercado. Nos salimos del rango, pero dentro de lo mismo, y esto literalmente fue eso. Así que interesante, pero sobre todo la dominancia de Tether, porque en los indicadores de Farhan, de acuerdo a lo que estamos viendo, va a ir a buscar el precio de la media del canal. Su media del canal está en los 11%, para que tengan una idea. Así que Dios nos cuide a todos. Y, all right, I'm going to remove this, and I'm also going to do a little share this instead. And just if you guys, I'm going to do this in Spanish, right? So, oigan, si quieren darse una vuelta por acá, andamos en el Discord de Elite Trading Academy, el de Farhan y Alex que andan por acá. Les dejé esto en la descripción de abajo. Si se preguntan para todos los exchanges y todo eso, literalmente están aquí en donde dice Partners. Se meten, le pican acá para abrir su cuenta en BitGet, le pican acá para abrir su cuenta en Bluffing, que son los exchanges que usamos, o también acá para usar TradingView si lo necesitan, por favor. Aquí está todo puesto. Pero aquí vénganse, está todo el mundo en general, probablemente saludando. Aquí están estos perros. Así que aquí andan todos los días, se los dejo aquí abajo. Y de nuevo, si necesitan un exchange, tenemos los dos que usamos nosotros. Tenemos a BitGet, que es internacional, tienen fees un poco más bajos. Y tenemos a Bluffing, que no te pide KYC, funciona en Estados Unidos y tiene un poco de fees un poco más caros. Simplemente es uno por el otro y tienes TradingView para que puedas hacer tus tablitas. Así que eso es todo. Solamente les quería recordar que aquí tenemos estos perros. All right, boys, let's start with UNG. I feel like we haven't done shit yet.
You want to do that one, Alex?
And you're muted, Alex. And by the way, I love that we were like, guys, don't buy gas right now. Do not buy natural gas. It's going to go lower. And everybody was like, well, I don't care. So now tell me every single day, am I going to lose my ass on this thing that I did? So this is why we're analyzing UNG.
Yeah. One other thing is that we've been posting this scenario for like the past 3 weeks on our Discord. We're like, be prepared. Everything looks like shit.
Yeah, it's true. So
if you look at the Discord right now, all the people posting their P&L cards, they were ready.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, the fact that no one wants to kill me right now, it's a good thing.
Right?
Because 2022 was very different.
Usually on these dumps, we're getting hate messages, we're getting like death threats, or like, fuck you for telling me to buy this shit.
Yeah. And now it's pretty good.
It's on the flip side. So, UNG, we've been looking at it now, I think for 2.5 weeks. And yeah, it's still just in a very strong downtrend, even making a new low, as you can see here. It's not a strong chart. And this is something we've been noting here for a while. When something's this heavily sold down, many people, especially like, new traders or new investors will assume, well, it can't go much lower. And, oftentimes that's just, it's just a trap because this can go very, very low, just like how markets can, be irrational and just keep going up. Things can still keep going down. And as it stands now, UNG has no sign of strength currently. You can see here, we're kind of in the gray zone now, making new lows. And overall, the daily EMA 9 has just been steadily resistance, especially after this double top here on the daily. You know, UNG really wanted to hold that $13 and 50-cent region, $14 area, and it failed to do so. Very much so too. It even flipped it into resistance here on August 1st. So currently, as it stands, what I'd be looking at, if you want any sign of hopium for even a mean reversion bounce, you'd first at least want the daily to reclaim the 9. And then at minimum, you'd really want this $13.50 to $14 area to get reclaimed and hold. Then you could make the argument it's some kind of deviation, and then you can just play the retest. Any daily closures below this green meme line, or even losing the 9. You can just cut the trade. But as it stands, there's no reason to buy this. You're just basically hoping that it does some kind of recovery in the future. But for a chart that just goes down only, I don't think it's there's so much other things you could bid, so much other things that you could put your money towards, that right now this definitely isn't the play.
This is an ETF, right? So across time, they always go down. This is an ETF for gas, for natural gas. So over time, they always go down. What people are looking is pops. That's what they're looking for. And I tell them always.
What I'm wondering is crude oil going down with natural gas right now too?
They should.
Oil's been pretty down too. And if you are trying to play a pop, right? Where do you buy it and where's your stop? That's just what makes it hard to try to play these. At least here where we slightly lost it on the 4-hour support and then formed a nice, 4-hour candle, reclaimed it. We had, a nice, if you call this a pop, from actually curious just to see. Yeah, I mean, 11% is nice, but, for something as risky as, playing along for maybe a mean reversion play, as it stands, there's no setup. The setup might be if we reclaimed the 4-hour EMA 9, maybe you can play it to resistance here at like around $14. You can see the support held here. Is this the SR flip though? Is this now the bearish retest that's going to go down lower? Unsure. We have to just assume though any bounce is just that of like a lower high, especially with how strong this downtrend is. So yeah, not strong. Let's see the hourly. Yeah, even the hourly is not even confirming anything for me.
No, there's nowhere to find anything here, like nowhere. And also because if you just take a step back and look out and look at it from a really, really wide perspective, this is an economic slowdown, dude. Like no one's going to require more energy.
Yeah, and that's a great point. It kind of plays hand in hand of what we're seeing across, just the board, especially with just seeing the Mexican peso versus the dollar. Like some stuff is brewing, and I don't look at natural gas too much, but that to me this just looks like death. So if that's the implication, then yeah, no, I can see why. So yeah, overall not a strong chart. There's really nothing. I'm seeing nice resistance in that $14 region, $13.80, $14 region. If we get a bounce up to there, I just look for that to either reject right around there, maybe a wick to like $14.20. But until proven otherwise, now we have to assume that's new resistance. It was support, but now that's resistance. It broke down. Many closures below it. So, there's other things to play. Even if you're trying to play a bounce, right? You could just bid NVIDIA, let's say, at a major support level, play an easy mean reversion play. But, it's like Farn said, you might as well just go to the casino and get a free drink.
Right? A lot of degens like to do that, though. A lot of degens do enjoy just doing the casino at home and just jerking off in silence and crying. So let's give them what they want. Este es el ETF del gas natural UNG, algo que les hemos dicho, bueno, y sobre todo les he dicho yo una y otra vez, todavía no estén intentando comprar porque esto no se ve bien para nada. Pero bueno, aquí estamos después de, obviamente, el doble tope que tuvimos después de haber comprado el delicioso piso que compramos acá. Por acá fue donde vendimos, dijimos, no, gracias, esto ya no tiene más fuerza y hemos visto cómo ha estado colapsando y ahora estás en el punto de los 12 70. Están viendo mi gráfico en la diaria. El precio está en $12.73. Recuerden que este es un ETF y va a ir a cero a través del tiempo. Es algo que no quieren holdear, es algo que quieren vender en los pubs cuando tiene el rebote hacia la alza. ¿Ok? Rápidamente les voy a poner mis EMAs para que lo puedan ver. Estás bajo todo, bajo absolutamente todo. Perdiste el 5, perdiste el 9, que es el verde, el 21, que es el amarillo. Estás bajo el EMA 100, que está en 16.80, y también sobre el SMA 200. Estás literalmente en el piso. ¿Qué estás esperando? Estás esperando a crear un piso y algún patrón por acá que te diga que va a haber una reversión. No hay nada. Habíamos puesto en el último en vivo un objetivo de los $11.09 como un mínimo piso. No estoy diciendo que vaya a ser el mínimo, pero mínimo es algo que habíamos visto con las métricas que había sacado Farhan de esto. Entonces, aquí tienen que tener cuidado porque esto va junto con el petróleo. El petróleo entrando en una recesión va para abajo, señores. Y si lo pueden voltear a ver por acá, el petróleo ha estado consolidando, pero está creando lo mismo que Bitcoin, altos más bajos, lo estaba creando bajos más altos hasta aquí. Aquí rompió esa tendencia y ahora se está soportando en la parte media del canal, entre los 71 y 57. El precio por barril está en 73.14. Muy probablemente tu siguiente objetivo vayan a ser los $69 en el petróleo y probablemente lleguemos hasta los 64 dólares a cierto punto. ¿Por qué? Porque hay debilidad económica y lo estamos viendo en absolutamente todos lados, en todos lados. Así que ese es tu análisis de estas chingaderas de UNG. All right. Tesla. Wait, you're muted. You did so great all this morning.
Once again, I forget to unmute myself. It's tradition.
It wouldn't be a stream without it. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be a stream if I have not been reminded to unmute myself.
It would be a fake simulation. Oh, Tesla is about to come and be rejected on the daily by the SMA 200 and the EMA 100.
Mm-hmm.
Watch
yeah, exactly.
that fucking thing.
Big level on Tesla here.
Oops, I forgot.
Oops, I crapped it
again. That was Backstreet Boys, right?
No, that was Britney.
No,
I
Britney.
wonder.
That was Britney?
That was
Man,
Britney.
that's how young you are, motherfucker. I can't believe Britney Spears. Like, dude, when I was young, I wanted to bang Britney Spears so bad. I was like, anytime I get a chance. Right now, you couldn't pay me. If they were like,
yeah,
take Britney, I'd be like, nah, dude, I'm good. Thank you. I'll give you a house. Nah, dude, I'm good.
Like, I was not to do that.
This is gonna make me sound young as fuck, but I was like 5 years old back when Britney was blowing up.
Yeah, I know, Farhan. But my 14-year-old self got boners, and I barely knew what those were because the internet didn't exist the way it does right now. So I had to deal with it in some way or another, watching those music videos with the tight little outfits and shit. Now it's very different. There's Insta hoes that are way hotter and for free uploading their asshole to Instagram. Just for
yeah. What do you do for a living?
Awesome.
I'm a model on Instagram.
I'm a model.
I'm a freelancer.
I'm a soldier on Call of Duty. You can't say I'm not, right?
I can't. No. You do bring a lot of logic to that point. All right, I'm sorry.
All right, so on the weekly on Tesla right now, we're below every single major moving average. The 200s right here, we kind of held it for support a little bit. Then once we officially lost it, we kind of deviated above it, closed above it, we retested it, and then we ended up going to the 55. We held it for a little bit of support. And after the weekend, after all that like shit happened with Japan and everything collapsing, the whole global economy collapsing, we opened below the 22 EMA. We tried to test it. We rejected it. We tested the median. Right now, we're still holding the median, but we're below the 21 EMA. Yeah. As long as we're below the 21 EMA, I would consider it bearish, but not as bearish if we were to lose the median. As long as we hold the median, we should be holding, testing this area, this 38.2% area. But based on the next weekly closure, the median is likely going to go up because it usually does that. Whenever price goes up, the median follows it up. At that point, the median is probably going to be around the 21 EMA. And if we continue to lose it, then at that point, I would say that we're at the very least going to come down to this 38.2% level, which is 172. But realistically, on Huh?
And your median is where? 186?
Right now, my median is 188.5.
Got it. I'm
But
sorry.
on the next weekly close, it's gonna go up.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it usually, like you see on these weekly closes, whenever price is moving up, it follows it up.
Yeah. No,
Every
for
time-
sure. I'm sorry. I was just couldn't see
No, you're
the,
good, you're good.
the number. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the next weekly close, the next significant level is right here on this gap right here, which also coincidentally lines up with this 21 EMA. If we manage next week to close above that level, then I would say we could retest this 200 SMA. I still would look at that as a short point, but it would be like it would be a tradable bounce if you're an aggressive trader. But I wouldn't play it to the long side. And right now we have momentum freshly pointed down, we have volatility pointed down, and we have the jewel giving us a fresh sell signal. The last time we had a sell signal in this range on the jewel was right around here, and we ended up dropping down to the 55, and we held it. Right now we're way below the 55, so it's a completely different zone. The only time we've had this when we've lost the 55, let's see if I can find it. We had it right here, where we lost the 55 and we had a sell signal, and that was in the peak of 2022. And everybody knows what happened in 2022 after the market collapsed in 2022. We had how much of a percent down move down? Almost 60% down. So if we were to move 60% down from here, like I would have mercy for anybody's. I would pray for mercy for anybody's holding Tesla right now, especially for Elon, who has like loans on his Tesla stock. Because when he was buying Twitter for $46.5 billion. He put up like $25 billion worth of Tesla's collateral. What happens if that gets margin called?
I feel like someone can loan him some money.
They probably will.
I'm sure.
But the fear of that alone will crash the market.
That's true.
But now,
though.
can I also say this? He'll be able to finance himself at really low interest rates.
Oh, he definitely will. But everybody else who's playing this is gonna get royally fucked.
So what you're saying is basically, if you lose that, like you get a reject out of that gap in the median, you losing 60% basically puts you at 82.47, and that basically has a gap. If you look on the weekly, that area to the left, there's a gap right there.
I see it right there. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, $83, $82. I see it. And these gaps, like 90% of the time, they like to get filled.
And it's a weekly one.
Yeah, the market fucking hate gaps,
especially on stocks. I feel like.
Oh, for sure. Stocks, they hate gaps way more than crypto.
Yeah.
And especially on these stocks, whenever price is moving down, everybody else is seeing the gap too. So everybody's playing that gap as well as you. Mm-hmm. And these traditional markets, they usually play to the textbook. It's not like crypto where it's a PvP market and it's scammy as hell. Like these things usually play to the textbook. And right now we have with that fresh sell signal on the jewel, if we were to count the same percentage move, like around 50 to 60%, that would take us right there to that 83 60% is $82.
Yeah, that's that.
It all lines up. What I want to see right now though is if we have any divergence on Tesla. Because the divergence will give us the best signal. Like one of my favorite ways to trade is off of the divergence on the RSI. Right now we have hidden bearish divergence on the RSI. Oh. We have multiple drives and it still has not played out. The way we can tell it's played out is if we get a local low. You see what this triangle is at?
Mm-hmm.
This marks a local low. We still have not gotten that. The first hopium for the bulls is that right here in the median zone, we can find a local low here. We haven't found a local low. We're getting a bounce. If we can close above this 21 EMA, this will mark it as a local low. And then we're good from there. And then we can retest this zone right here, which is currently at $250. But right now we're rejecting it. And based on the monthly sell signal on the jewel and the weekly sell signal, I would feel that it's much better like risk to reward to expect this to reject versus trying to play it on a reclaim.
Yeah.
And right now we have a fresh sell signal on the jewel as well. So if this were to play out and this does not hold, we will go down to the very minimum, this bearish control zone, which right now is at $149. And if we get a bounce from there, and we get another drive of hidden bearish divergence, but usually happens on these moves on the weekly. Whenever we lose the major moving averages, we try to retest them. At that point, the RSI makes a higher high, but price action makes a higher low. So then that gives it more fuel to go down because price doesn't go down in a straight line. it wants to fuck over as many people as possible. It wants to get as much liquidity out of the market as possible. And then that would give us fuel to go down to this bearish critical zone. But you gotta keep in mind, every week these zones move up. So right now, you gotta take this price target with a grain of salt. If we were to go down to it right now, this would be the price. But with every move, it moves up. Right now, that bearish critical zone, it doesn't even tell you because it's impossible. Because it's below, it's so low, it will not even tell you what it is. So that's what tells you that right now we're probably going to consolidate. If it told you what our price target was, I'd feel more comfortable saying that we're probably going to move from here. But right now, because of that, I'm feeling like I still don't think we reclaim this 21. I think we consolidate from here sideways, bore the shit out of everyone, and then we get a reset of the momentum indicators, and then possibly we can see if we move up from there. The only chance I can see we move up from there is if the overall economy improves. Because right now everything's looking like shit. The stocks are looking like shit. Bonds are looking like shit. Employment numbers are looking like shit. Everything's looking like shit. Maybe the government comes out and they change the definitions. Who knows?
Well, but even if they change the definition right now, the problem is right now they've kept a great illusion that everything is great, right? Like they tell people, I know you don't have any money, but listen, the economy is great. And people are like, look, I know I don't have any money, but the economy is great. I feel like that illusion will be way harder to sell. But although, like I said, I talked to a man that told me the economy was strong and he couldn't fucking eat for 3 months, probably, right? For the next 3 months. So I don't know how stupid people can be. So I actually take it back.
The economy is so strong that people can't even afford food.
It's so incredible.
So strong.
It's just food's so expensive, you know. It's now a luxury item.
I have first-hand experience. I used to run a daycare. So with the daycare, you have the food service program, where people who are like low income, they can apply for that food service, and the government reimburses you for whatever you feed them. And you can easily check up if you still have access to it. You can check up to see how many people are signing up. It's at record highs right now.
I was going to say it has
literally the daycare population for childcare is over 70% of the amount of kids that are on food service assistance.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That's insane.
In 2022, at the worst it ever got was around like 60%. I have never seen it this high before in my life.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it all around with phantom credit, phantom debt, and all of it. It's pretty bad. Is that it for Tesla?
Yeah.
Let me just move it along over here. Estamos viendo Tesla, damas y caballeros. Vamos a empezar en la mensual para que tengan una bastante buena idea. En la mensual hemos perdido el EMA 21, que es el amarillo, lo tienen en 213. El precio en este momento en Tesla es 201, pero es bastante volátil, sigue subiendo y bajando tantito. También tienes el EMA 9, tu EMA 9 está en 205. Y abajo, tu SMA 100 está en los $150. Y es importante eso, ¿por qué? Porque cuando volteamos a ver la semanal, y voy a ajustar la semanal para que tengan una muy buena idea, pueden ver cómo el precio nos rechazó en los 233 y va para abajo. Intentó agarrarse del EMA 9 y del EMA 100, se la peló y volvió a caer. Ahora, cayó acá y veniste. Este fue el fondo donde abrió. Hoy abrió acá en 184, cayó más, pero luego subió y ahorita está siendo rechazado el EMA 21. ¿Ok? Con este rechazo y sobre todo viendo la diaria, aquí en la diaria te da una mejor fotografía de cómo estás intentando retestear el 100 y el 200, el SMA 200 y el EMA 100. De acuerdo a lo que estamos viendo con los indicadores de Farhan, sobre todo en la semanal, el momentum, la volatilidad van de la mano para abajo y estamos yendo a un lugar bajista en cuanto se refiere al objetivo de sus indicadores, y eso nos podría poner, porque la última vez que pasó exactamente esto fue aquí, en el 2022, en abril del 2022, y tuvimos una caída una vez que perdimos todo. Bueno, vamos a ver, el 21 y el 9, de 67%. Si solamente estás considerando que perdiste el 100, esa caída fue de solamente 56%, lo que eso nos pone en un promedio de 60%, que es igual a esto. 60% de caída de donde estamos en este nivel ahorita a donde puede ir, nos pone aquí. en los 79.61. Ahora les voy a enseñar algo culerísimo que probablemente nos lleve por ahí. ¿Están listos? Aquí hay un gap en los $84, entre 84 y $80. Es una buena probabilidad de que el precio en Tesla venga a buscar esto. Ahora, ¿cuál sería la solución para esto? Para, güey, tengo dinero en Tesla, no me salí, ¿qué pedo, qué hago? ¿Quieres recuperar el EMA 9 que está aquí en los 202? Digo, el 21 en los 202. Ese va a ser tu primer objetivo. Si puedes recuperar los 202 en la semanal, podría empezar a verse esto bastante bien y tu siguiente objetivo sería obviamente los 212, que es donde se juntan el 100 y el 9. De ahí tu siguiente objetivo serían los 233, que fue donde hubo el rechazo original del SMA 200. Pero tienes que asegurarte que paso a paso tomes estos niveles. Si no retomas estos niveles, Tesla se ve bastante mal junto con todo, simplemente por la economía. O sea, no hay cómo darle alrededor de. All righty. Here we go. All righty, here we go. What about Coinbase? Good morning. I have Coinbase at 227. It's a small position, and I have everything else cash. What are the interesting levels to keep accumulating Coinbase?
Yeah, let me take a look here. Make sure I'm unmuted.
Coinbase is the one stock that I hold right now. The one.
I sold mine on Friday, son. I saw this shit happening. I was like, "There's no fucking
the
way."
reason why I don't want to sell it. This is gonna sound silly, but the reason why I don't want to sell it is because I bought it in the $70 range, and I don't think it's gonna go back there.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're good. No. I was losing a little bit, and I just cut it because I was like, I'm not gonna wait. I can make more money on something else.
And I don't like to actively trade stocks.
Yeah. Stocks to me seem like so much easier than crypto. Especially the buy and holding. Like when you just buy and hold, yeah.
Especially because every single transaction you make is directly reported to the IRS. And don't get me wrong, I pay all my taxes. Of course, I pay all my taxes. There is not a tax that I have not paid. I'm the best taxpayer you'll meet in your life.
You are a great taxpayer. I've seen a lot of taxpayers, but Farhan, you're one of the greatest. Probably the best taxpayer.
The stocks, they report everything.
They do. And also it takes forever for price to change. It's boring compared to Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, like a 1 month move on stocks would be like 2 days on Bitcoin.
Yeah. That's what I like about Bitcoin.
Cool. So yeah, we have Coinbase here. Let me go to the let's check the weekly really fast. Okay, so cool. So the weekly is looking interesting here. With Coinbase, there's not a lot of data here on the weekly, but you can see here that as soon as this weekly EMA 9 was lost, right? This was a very obvious to me double top with a lower high here on the weekly. And that is actually something we also talked about on stream as the potential. We got the follow through. We even lost this meme line support that's been kind of holding price. We almost hit the meme line right here at 158. Essentially front running it just by a few dollars, getting an impressive bounce though, actually. Which
100.
Yeah, which is interesting. This bounce, let me see this right here. Yeah, so also what I liked is this EMA 100 on the weekly, as Alejandro just mentioned. Not a lot of data tied to it, but as you can see, when price does come into it, it's been a zone that's been respected a lot. And so that's an area, if you're bullish on coin, and especially if you're holding, let's say, a bag from this 220 area, you're, in my opinion, if it just depends on your conviction. If it's for a bag you don't really care, it's for long hold 5-10 years, yeah, then I would just be looking at this 148 to 150 zone to probably, if I were someone buying this, maybe it wouldn't hurt to nibble right here overall. But with what we know overall going on, Coinbase is going to be one of those stocks that are going to probably get hit one of the hardest, especially if Bitcoin churns and rolls over. And that's just because of it's just more tied to crypto very heavily. you know, and also the fact, you know, Coinbase on the macro, on the weekly, it's not looking the strongest. And the reason I say that is just because of this formation here. You know, what we really don't want is this weekly EMA 9 to start coming into the resistance zone, right around that 211, 220 area. Mainly 211 though, because any bounces up to this 211 zone, in my opinion, will probably mark a strong reaction of probably a rejection. Until proven otherwise, we have to assume now that the EMA 9 on the weekly is just going to be resistance, and any rallies into it's probably an opportunity. And the reason I say that is because, you know, this kind of looks similar, right? We had a big candle down, a nice rally up, right? This candle here from the low, I mean, was an impressive bounce of 18%, right? Rallied straight into the weekly EMA 9, only to reject. And you can just see it basically held down the entire downtrend. So, you know, Coinbase bulls really want to see that get reclaimed, to kind of have any thesis on more of the macro on why this could go up more. But until then, to me, rallies into that zone will just be an opportunity to either sell or short. And currently, as it stands, you know, it's sitting at that $220 region, which, you know, don't think it's going to happen all at once, but as it stands, it is holding and corresponding with this meme range we were following on this stream for a while now. You know, coin is very much like Bitcoin was holding this meme line as soon as it got lost, rallied into it, flipped into resistance. Another point we mentioned was that daily EMA 100 lining up perfectly with it. So, you know, it losing that level was pretty big for coin. So, you know, the dump now, it's not surprising. You know, this was a big kind of range that coin was in. So now what bulls want to see is potentially the daily SMA 200 get reclaimed. Just like I mentioned on Bitcoin, it's a big level. And, you know, coin doesn't like to stay below it that long. So what really bulls want to see now is that get reclaimed, and maybe even just some consolidation would be welcomed. You know, get above it, consolidate. Currently, it's at $186. So we are above it, but still a long day. We still have 4 hours to go. So actually seeing where Coinbase closes is going to give more confluence to the fact that we may bounce bigger first than dump more, in my opinion. And that will bleed into the Bitcoin analysis, that we probably do get a mean reversion bounce if it's not already on the way. You know, Bitcoin's already doing an impressive bounce along with coin. But currently, yeah, we want to just watch the daily SMA 200 today. We'd expect that to hold if you're bullish, and then that would give us more fuel to test this level right here around 218 to 220. A lot of confluence here with the daily EMA 100, daily EMA 9, along with this meme line we've been watching here that coin did like to respect. So just like Bitcoin, right, we'd expect a rally up, and then, you know, right here is going to be a crucial spot that's, in my opinion, going to determine a lot. If we reject and then break back under the daily SMA 200, I do think coin is going to experience probably a lot bigger downside.
Yeah.
Possibly even breaking under, you know, 150, easily going, you know, to the $100 range fairly fast. So, you know, something to watch for sure, especially when, you know, overall Bitcoin is not looking too hot. Risk on across the board isn't accelerating, and we're seeing things kind of crack. So, you know, Coinbase, altcoins, things like that aren't going to be people's first picks in environments like this, and especially not Bitcoin. In my opinion.
Yeah. Anything correlated right now, it's fucking doomed. Go ahead.
They're extremely high risk. Everybody wants to feed their families. Everybody's worried about World War III. Like, what good is magic internet money to them right now? Nothing.
Nothing, especially when it's not full internet magic money. When it's just like discounted, it's already
you don't even own it when it's in the ETFs. You don't even own it.
Fuck.
You just have
ETFs.
You have an idea of a Bitcoin.
Yeah. It's good for those people that bought it like that. I'll never understand. But okay. Let me just buy something that I could just buy directly using a third party that charges me money. That sounds way smarter than anything else. Let's go. All right. Fucking idiots. Estamos hablando de Coinbase en este momento y nos pregunta Alex, tengo una posición en Coinbase de 220 a los $227, una posición pequeña y tengo casi todo cash. ¿Cuáles son los niveles interesantes para seguir acumulando? Número uno, quieres ver si esto va a aguantar o no. El precio en este momento de Coinbase está en 194.45 y eso lo pone en este momento en una bajada de 4,47% de su cierre pasado. ¿Ok? Eso quiere decir que por más que vean esta vela verde, sigue siendo un día negativo para Coinbase. Vamos a empezar en la mensual, sencillamente para tenerlo enfrente de todos ustedes. Venimos y rebotamos bastante saludablemente en el EMA 20, en el EMA 9. También lo habíamos hecho en el 21. Pueden ver acá que es la parte baja del canal, por ahí de los $167. Y es todo lo que tenemos, porque esta gráfica es muy joven. Pero cuando nos volteamos a ver a la semanal, empezamos a ver un poco de lo que habíamos platicado, ¿no? El doble tope que estás viendo acá, que es una señal de obviamente tope. Ese es tu doble tope que viste ahí. Y tienes un bajo acá, pero ahora tienes un bajo más bajo. Eso es bastante bajista. También rompiste esta línea de tendencia de soporte, la que ya quedó ahí, entonces no hay necesidad de tenerla, tío Salo, idiota, quítala. ¿Ok? Entonces rompes esa línea de tendencia a la baja. ¿Qué es lo que quieres buscar? Lo que quieres buscar es poder simplemente aguantar acá, ¿no? En la semanal. Pero si nos ponemos a ver en la diaria, que es lo más inmediato que estás viendo, ves como el SMA 200 está justamente en el nivel de los 186. Quieres primero aguantar ahí, después ver cómo te va a ir con el SMA 100 y el 9 que están aquí arriba. Estos probablemente rechacen el precio cuando suba. Es lo que tienes que estar viendo. Si lo rechaza y empieza a bajar, muy probablemente tengas buenas oportunidades mucho más abajo. O sea, mucho más abajo del 150, por ejemplo. Estamos hablando de que probablemente por ahí de entre los 117, 120, 150 vaya a haber un buen rango de oportunidad para ti. Y ahí depende de tu estrategia, qué es lo que quieras hacer con tu posición. Si es una posición chica, tal vez vengas a retestear acá y te quieras salir, pero vale la pena aguantar a ver dónde cierra y qué es lo que sigue. You guys know what HL is.
I've never heard of it.
Seen
HL.
one per person, yeah.
I am muted. I am still muted.
Wow. It's
Let me
called
see here.
Hecla.
Oh, it's a mining company. Okay.
Yeah.
Crypto mining?
No.
Or like traditional?
Oh,
so.
maybe. I don't know.
Let me
I
see.
just read mining. Non-emerging minerals. Non-energy minerals.
Gold, silver, other precious metals.
So no. God damn it.
All right, am I good at this one?
Yeah, it's
Sure.
all you find.
All right. It is HLKO.
Give the people what they
No,
want.
just HL.
See.
HL?
Yeah, just HL.
All right, let me switch to my main chart. I have so many setups, it's hard to keep track of them.
Well, hang on a second. While you set that up, let me help you out a little bit, and let me just
Okay.
promote the Discord and everything
Sure.
else.
We just hit 1,000 members today.
Oh, nice! Congratulations. That's fucking incredible. 1,000 members.
We were at 400 last week.
Oh wow, that's fucking incredible.
We're growing exponentially.
Yeah, the community is great.
Unlike the market, we're going up.
We're doing the opposite of the market.
Bueno, let me just share this real quick with everybody. Les acabo de poner el enlace de nuestro Discord justamente en la parte de acá en los comentarios. También lo tienen abajo en la descripción del video de YouTube. Si están aquí en Twitter o en cualquier otra, pueden encontrarlo en YouTube para que sepan en el about de la página. Se pueden meter aquí al Discord de Elite Trading Academy. Vénganse a generar para platicar con todos. Vengan a presumirnos sus ganancias, ¿no? Que es lo que... ¡Wow! Whoa, buddy, we're on fire. Vengan a presumir sus ganancias por acá o vengan a saludar, vengan a preguntar qué es lo que quieren ver o a compartir uno que otro buen meme. Aquí estamos. También les dejo los enlaces de BitGet y también de Bluffin para que lo puedan ver. Déjenme simplemente Esto es un exchange americano que funciona en Estados Unidos. Pueden ver ahí qué elegancia la de Francia. Pueden ver esto y aparte, si se unen el día de hoy, les pueden dar hasta $5,000 en bonos. Este exchange funciona en Estados Unidos y no requiere KYC para que sepan. Y tenemos también BitGet. Había compartido con ustedes BitGet, pero... One second, share screen. Did you guys invite someone else? There's like a third person here, Just Cam.
No, I didn't invite anybody. How did they get the link?
Oh, hang on a second. I see. We're going to have to close this because otherwise people are just connecting here.
How did
God
they get
damn
the
it.
link?
Somehow they saw it here. I probably shared on a screen.
Oh, you did, not the Discord link. You shared the StreamYard link. I see.
That's what I'm saying. All right. So let's go this one. I'm going to send you another link and we'll get going.
Awesome.
Ok, one second. Ok, voy a crear un nuevo stream, señores. Discúlpenme, la cagamos y ahorita vamos a hacer HL y luego Dutch Brothers. Me apunto Dutch Brothers. Dutch y HL. Vale. Alrighty. I'll send you this, guys, and see you soon. Vale, nos vemos, señores. Ahora regresamos en un segundito. Vamos a tener que cortar y empezar uno nuevo porque tristemente compartí el stream con todos y aquí ya está Baldur colándose y Rose Cornejo colándose. Así que, y también